Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Todd was smirking there.
Well, you were lagging before you started, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm just going to go right to, and I'm Todd Pleasant, even before you speak.
I just feel like I had this swallow in me that I couldn't
You also had a very long tail on the podcast part, which is what made me start smirking.
Anyways.
Literally, as I'm saying it, I remembered listening back to last week's show, and it sounded like I just sort of garbled podcast.
Yeah, we get a lot of letters about that.
So you were doing the WNBC thing.
It's 343 shows. It's just so very tired.
It is what it is.
That was that. What was that? It was the Simpsons.
The Simpsons with the Star Trek 12.
Star Trek. Yeah.
So very tired.
Okay.
I can't reach the button. Again with the Klingons.
Here's the thing. Wear a mask.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Literally saves lives. Just do it, people.
It's not for you. Really, it's not for you. And what you think.
It is not for you.
You know, and God, please don't make this, don't buy into the political statement bullshit.
I wasn't even going to go there, but
I'm going to. You're protecting vulnerable people, and if all you can do in this situation is maybe protect somebody else, it's a pretty low freaking bar.
Yeah, unless you're literally a serial killer, and if you are, fine. There's easier ways to kill people. Other than that, wear a goddamn mask.
What's amazing is how quickly you. I was in Carvel the other night. Josh and I went to pick up ice cream for the family, and everybody working there and everybody in the store was wearing a mask, except this one dude walks in, and he just clearly felt like he didn't have to and didn't care, and it was like it's amazing how quickly you become attuned to that.
And
I'm
we
so
talked
attuned
a
to
lot
that.
about this for a while, and I'm just gonna say, it's like all the theories have gone out the window. It's not just urban areas; it is everywhere, people. And the very few things that we know about this is you are sick before you know you're sick, okay? And that vulnerable people will die. And if you can just keep those two facts in your head and forget about the numbers and forget about the odds and everything else, the one thing that you can do is wear a mask. And it's, get yourself a badass looking mask, okay? There's very few opportunities in life where you can express yourself in this way. Do it. But lean into it, people.
Yes.
We will get through this. We just have to take care of each other.
Well said. Okay, this week we're going to talk about some projects. We got some segments. We'll do all that stuff. Let's go random. I have like 5. I always need more because you jerk offs take all of them.
I have 1.
You have 1, and then you rattle off 3.
No, I seriously have 1.
All right, go with your 1. I know what it is.
Okay.
It's my 1 too.
It's my 1 also.
Well, it's your 1 of 5. Okay. There's a lot of buzz about the possibility that Michael Keaton is in talks to be Batman in the Flash. In the Flash movie.
Not Batman. Bruce Wayne.
Says Batman.
Well, either way, but in the Flash movie, because they're doing a multiverse thing, which apparently they think people didn't pay attention to that when it was on TV. But anyways, this is the first big screen implementation of the multiverse. If you think about it, in the Crisis thing, we actually saw DC Cinematic Universe Flash interact with Flash from
movie Flash.
From the Arrowverse. That could actually be in this movie. The other side of that conversation could well be in this movie if they do this multiple Earth thing. But anyways, since somebody floated the idea several months ago, I have loved the idea of Michael Keaton being old, grouchy Bruce Wayne, as in Batman Beyond. And I would love to see a Batman Beyond movie. And if this is the springboard for that, I'm a lot more excited about that than Flash. So
well, the thing I read about it, which I thought was interesting, and I'm fine with them separating, like, here's the TV world and here's the movie world. Although the movie world has the vampire guy is Batman, Ben Affleck is Batman. You know, there's just figure it out. Do me a favor, just figure it out. But, and I don't know if it's the writer's thought or the idea of, let's say they make all these movies and one of the through lines is Keaton as Bruce Wayne / Batman in all of them, like Samuel Jackson is in in the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I saw that somebody was saying, what if he was that type of a role? And then, I would love to see him as an older Bruce Wayne. When all the headlines keep saying Batman, I don't want to see him in a rubber suit and a cowl and a cape. I just think I'd much rather see him as Bruce Wayne than Batman.
It would have been amazing if he was in Titans as
it would have been amazing.
Yes,
it could have. But I also, if they had not already made The Dark Knight Returns and called it a different movie, okay, he could actually do that. Okay, he could do that because he's in an armored suit most of the time, and you wouldn't see him, but.
Well, he certainly pulled off Vulture, right? And that wasn't that long ago.
Oh yeah, no, he's
great
he's
in that.
He's in great shape. I would love to see it. I really would.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
So that is my one thing, and I have nothing else. So one of you should go.
Todd relinquishes the floor to you, Dave.
No, you can go. I got a lot. I happened to see a lot all in one day. I happened to see a lot as I'm.
Yeah, I'm sure my
Porter. Huh?
Was that one of your 5?
Yes.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sure that the one I'll throw out there is on your list as well, Dave. But season 3 of Cobra Kai is moving to Netflix. So what I'm curious about is the whole, are all 3 seasons going to Netflix, or is it just?
Yes, no, they are.
They are. Okay.
First season 1 and 2 were going later this year, and then they'll have season 3. I did read that.
I enjoyed the first 2 seasons of that show for what they were, and I'm looking forward to a third season. So.
Me too, big time. A lot of people. Yeah, YouTube is out of the television originals business. It just did not. Their model just did not work.
Yeah, YouTube Red, and then YouTube. They've got YouTube TV, which is their over-the-top service, but they're probably better that they don't create original programming and that they just stick to broadcasting other people's content.
I'd rather have them just create original programming, but whatever. Okay, my third one is, so J.K. Simmons says he definitely plans to play J. Jonah Jameson more, so I know we thought we'd see that, so.
I actually read that they said he already filmed his next cameo.
His first appearance, yeah.
Is he going to be the next Stan Lee in like every movie as J. Jonah Jameson?
I think that would be totally acceptable.
I'd be okay with that.
He's the perfect cameo person, and it would be, because you could use that character
was in
everything.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right? Yep. I just happened to see it again, and he was that. Was someone that character in the Andrew Garfield? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't think they went there at all.
I don't think they did, but I don't remember.
So
he didn't work for a newspaper in that one. He didn't.
No.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen those.
Yeah, those are kind of blocked out. I think it's perfect, and I think he would be. I think it'd be, and it makes perfect sense too, having someone connected to, like a internet news kind of network, be criticizing and and observing as these things go together, and they could actually even use it to bridge things in between, doing like updates and stuff. If they wanted to do like the beginning of the Clone Wars, have him saying, since the events of Zarkovia, kind of thing. And
he plays that character perfectly.
He does.
Yeah, awesome. He's great in that role.
Yeah. A couple. That's all. Those I had those 3, and then a couple of people passed away. Joel Schumacher's one of them.
Yep.
He directed some stuff. A couple of Batmans. You know how I feel about Burton Batmans. I don't like those 2 Batmans any less than I like Burton Batmans. I got to tell you.
Well, I will weigh in on that, and I just like the Burton Batmans are much better films. and they don't have nipples in the bat suits. So
what's wrong with that? Why are you so uptight?
I just it's anyway. But
but Barry, we were saying, rest in peace, Joel Schumacher for sure. But
Yes.
you were looking through his movies.
I said I went through his IMDb, and I didn't see a ton of movies that connected with me. I'm trying to be polite. But I said Flatliners and Santa Mo's Fire were the two that stood out to me that were the better movies in his au revoir.
Okay, so I literally, for whatever reason, it's one of those late
You hate those
sort
two
of
movies.
quarantine. Now, Flatliners isn't bad. Those Flatliners is how I am 1 degree away from Kevin Bacon.
Yes,
Oliver Platt's in it. No, 2 degrees. Oliver Platt's in it with Kevin Bacon, and I was in a TV show with Oliver Platt. Anyway, St. Elmo's Fire was on. It is one of the worst examples of those 80s. It's like the epitome of. It's where they got to the precipice of 80s teen movies, and that's where it just fell off.
it was also the idea of like
it was the Brat Pack.
trying to like tap into this. Here's all these teen movie stars. They're now actually going to play their real ages in a movie.
Yeah,
And it was there are 1 or 2 things in there that are funny and memorable, but
there's
it's
some
1 or
funny
2.
things, but
it really is.
it's pretty cringeworthy.
I loved the dinner conversation with the mother that whispers everything that's bad. Do you remember that? It's like, cancer. It's like everything. And then they ask, how do you know my daughter? Prison. It's like, yeah.
But not that was bad at the time, but that is certainly that movie should never be viewed out of the 80s.
I haven't seen it probably in 20
It is
something
of its
years.
time. There's no question.
Yeah. But I will contend that his best movie is Lost Boys. Lost Boys, I think, is
I
a
haven't
good
looked
flick.
at IMDb, but it's
Okay.
I would probably agree with that.
I forgot he made Lost Boys. Yeah, I would definitely put that
No,
higher on the
that's
list
what I
than
was saying. I
Flatliners
felt like you missed it when you looked at IMDb, because I think that's one of his. That's a solid movie for what it is. Anyway,
all right,
rest in peace.
so we'll go with that. That was his. That
Joel
was the
Schumacher.
peak of his career.
The other significant passing this week was Sir Ian Holm, who has been in a bajillion different things, and including Alien, which is probably one of the things that I first noticed him in that wasn't like a British drama. And then, of course, he was Bilbo Baggins. So it's again, literally in everything. The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like,
of.
right
I
down
was
the
picturing him
line.
as something.
A character actor and a superb character actor. He did it. He did really well at everything he did. Time Bandits, all these different things. From Hell, a lot of movies that I like. But like I said, he is for me forever Ash from Alien. I mean, it was very good. And it was one of the more shocking things in that film was his ultimate end, and there were a lot of shocking things in that film. So,
Yeah. Rest in peace, Ian Holm.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry, we're going from a death dedication to Fanboy Collectibles, but
okay.
Do you want a palate cleanser? I can throw another random in, but I felt like after the death dedications, it wasn't appropriate.
Well, I already did the transition, so I think
go
we're
for
fine.
it.
But they do have plenty of stuff. Speaking of Alien, there's a Eagle Moss big size chest burster figurine. They're calling it. That's interesting. Check that out on the website. It's not one of the. I don't think it's one of the small type Eagle Mosses. They got that Hot Toys Loki, another Loki figure. If you missed the first one, check out Hot Toys Loki.
First two.
Were there two? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe. Interactive Deadpool from Hasbro. We were talking about that amongst ourselves, I believe.
Yes.
He says 500 phrases. There's a diamond Mandalorian statue. A lot of new stuff on the site. Check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com.
And in stock, a Catwoman figure from the second Tim Burton film, which I'm actually...
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I didn't mention it. But still a fine figure.
Yeah.
And I do like Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, but I got a problem with everything else in that movie. Go to the don't go to the store. I don't think it's open yet. Although it might be open.
It could be.
I think Connecticut should be.
Call
in
ahead
phase
if you want to
3.
go there, but definitely order online too.
Call ahead. Numbers on the website. Tell them the regular Joe sent you. Okay, shirt up, everybody.
I spend a lot on all the clothes that I got, 'cause all the geeks that I meet, they all look cooler than me.
Regular Joe's shirt up.
Todd,
Okay.
what are you wearing?
It's been a while
I am
since we did
wearing
this one.
a officially licensed Flash shirt from the movie Flash Gordon, which I will.
I'm wearing the officially licensed
As a matter of
Flash
fact,
shirt
you're
from
also
Flash
wearing
Gordon.
the officially. Now,
I
my
am
shirt
not
comes with a-
wearing the officially licensed
My
Flash
shirt
Gordon
comes
shirt.
with a slight warning. I would wash it in cold water first, because there's it's basically a red ringer tee on white, and mine bled just a tiny bit. So
It's missing the little. Where is that mark? There's a little mark somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
The X. What's that called? Asangrave or some kind of thing. On the one he
you can
wears,
color it in with a
it's,
red
I think,
Sharpie.
between the L. I could cut them out and we can iron them on.
Oh, totally do that. And yours, you have the same one, I think, Dave, right?
I think I have the same one you do, because I was looking for it to have the thing, and the ones who weren't licensed, and they don't have the thing on the back.
And
So
you want the thing in the back.
I think we're going to just put it on ourselves.
I think so.
Cool.
We'll look at the website. There'll be pictures of what he's wearing and what we're wearing. Barry, what are you wearing?
Well, so I'm not wearing it. I told you guys I just got it today.
You don't have
and
to tell the audience; they can't see.
It's okay. I like to be honest and real with our audience.
We were maintaining the illusion, Barry. You just dropped.
I know.
I'm wearing this
I know.
over something because I haven't washed it yet, and it feels gross.
So when Rush did their last tour, almost every night of the tour, Geddy Lee wore a T-shirt, because the tour was their R40 tour, and Geddy Lee wore a T-shirt that said ARF40 and had a picture of his 2 dogs on it, and they never sold that shirt. When COVID happened, they put that shirt up on their website as a charity thing, so that you could actually buy that shirt for charity, and it was for a COVID charity. So I have my ARF40 T-shirt, and on the back it says "Flatten the Curve," and it's got a hashtag. So I bought this to support a charity, and I finally got this shirt. And little trivia, Dave, when we went to the book signing, Geddy was wearing this shirt.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was wearing that exact shirt. And then
He must have 1,000 of them.
he must have a ton of them. And then they had a second one for charity that's just like a blue with the Rush logo, and it's got that Flatten the Curve on the back. So I actually got both of them. So I have 2 new Rush shirts.
I like
that
the
came
blue
today from
Rush
Canada.
logo.
Yeah, it's a cool shirt, because most of them are black, so to actually get like a light blue
Everything
one with the Rush logo
shipping
is cool.
from Canada is taking forever.
Yeah, I ordered these like a long, long time ago. They came today.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I finally got the ARF40 T-shirt.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's shirt up, everybody. Okay, what are we doing now? So we're going to talk about... I'm looking for my pictures of Geddy. We're going to talk about projects. Like, the whole idea is none of us are... Well, we're all in quarantine, well, except for Todd. But we are all still working. So the idea of, like, I've got 24 hours a day to work on whatever I want is not really a thing. But I know for Barry and I, we're basically cut out at least 3 hours a day of commuting. So there is extra time.
Yep.
In the day, and I
Plus the weekends, I've had more time on the weekends because we're not doing as much as we usually do. So
you can't. Yeah, you can't really go out. So there's definitely more weekend time. I actually made a list of projects. Like, here's all the projects I think I want to get done, and we were just going to talk about some of the projects we're all working on or want to work on. So, Barry, why don't you go first with one of those or some variation of that?
I mean, yeah, because I kind of threw this one out there to you guys just because one of the things that I've wanted to do for a while was get organized on some of my collections. And one of the ones I really wanted to target was my autograph collection. And not so much like my autographed photos and stuff, but going back 20 plus years, I've got a bunch of autographed vinyl albums and autographed CDs. and they were all over the place. I still have all my CDs, but they're in big bins in my storage room in the very, very, very back of the storage room because I never go into those bins for anything. All my music is digital now. So I went in and I sorted through hundreds of CDs to find like the 10 that I knew that were in there that were signed. I ordered like special sleeves that I could put the CDs in so that I could protect them better because they were really literally just thrown in with hundreds of other CDs. So like this is an example. This is my signed David Bowie CD that I got when 1995 when I met him, and now it's in like a nice protective, like archival plastic bag.
That's good.
As it should be. That's awesome.
As it absolutely should be, because I actually did meet David Bowie. I met him twice, believe it or not.
Is that a plastic? He signed the plastic CD cover or the cardboard?
This is actually a cardboard CD cover. It's not a plastic. It's one of those like digipack ones or whatever they call it. So
yeah.
Yeah, he signed it right on the front, and he actually wrote 95 because it's the year that it was done. Some of the CDs were double CDs, so I had to buy a separate size bags for those.
Jesus.
But they're cheap, and they're like archival, which is nice, and they're resealable. So if I ever want to take it out, I can. And then I also wanted to do that for my signed albums. So I bought these vinyl sleeves to put the albums in, and they're made of the same material. They're resealable. This is my signed Alice Cooper album. But I did that for all of my signed CDs, and you know the CD-sized ones. You got to buy them like packs of 100. So I ended up having a ton of extras of these bags, and so then I went down to, all right, what are the non-signed CDs that I like enough that I want to put away and protect? So I pulled out like all the CDs from my favorite bands. Some of them are like limited editions or whatever. So I kind of got those all put in these like sleeves to protect them. And then I was also photographing everything at the same time because I know I have a lot of this stuff, but you know, I didn't have like records and lists of everything I have, and you guys know how much I like lists. So
yeah,
I wanted to have a list of everything that I have.
I'm not like that, but
yeah, well, I've been that way forever. So now I've got lists going of the signed photos that I have, and the signed albums, and the signed CDs, and I went to books because I've got a bunch of signed books, and I wanted to document which ones of those I have. So it's been actually a fun project because it's been helping me get organized with some of that stuff. I'm going to keep all the signed stuff together in a separate place so that, you know, God forbid someday when I'm not around, this stuff doesn't all just get thrown out. Like, these are special versions of these CDs versus all the hundreds and hundreds of others that nobody's going to care about. And even my signed vinyl albums that I have hanging in frames, I actually put these sleeves on the albums and then put them back in the frames. Because the glass of the frames or the plastic of the frames was touching right up against the autographs. So now I've got that separation. That. So, and I photographed all of that stuff. So now I've at least got like a folder in my Dropbox of all my signed photos and books and albums. And then I said photos, but I'm moving down. The next step down is the photos because I've got those binders full of signed photos. I don't have pictures of them. But all my signed posters, I rolled them all out and got pictures of those so that, you know, if I ever want to look and see who's on them again or where they're signed, I don't have to actually pull the poster out. So I spent a good chunk of time pulling everything out, finding it all, and sort of archiving it, which made me happy. So that was the big project that I undertook.
This is a really grim thought, but we should make each other like the executors of our stuff. Okay.
Well, I was going to say you should be putting that in our Dropbox.
That's what I'm saying. No, you should
Yep.
each have a folder. You know, I should have one that says Barry and Dave. Give this to Barry and Dave, and so on and so forth. It just basically lists everything that's important, and that you guys can go through and sell off and you know whatever. But there's very few.
Well, yeah, I mean this
really
signed David Bowie CD is a great example.
We have, or even comprehend the value of it.
Because this would get thrown out. There's no question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then there's
you can't tell that's signed unless you really look at it closely.
Oh, yeah. No, believe me, I think about that all the time. And one of my things on my list, not necessarily my COVID list of things to do, you know, I don't have these lists, and I doubt I'm going to put that kind of list. But my plan is to literally do like a travel log throughout my whole room explaining what everything is and put it on a video somewhere for people like, this is this and it's very valuable. This is this and it means a lot to me. It may not be valuable. You know,
yeah.
You die tomorrow and there's things that, you know, I guess, do you really give
I mean,
a shit
it's
or
important
care?
for lots of reasons. Like, as an example, and you guys were with me when I did this, but I had gotten that 8-inch Buck Rogers figure that I had signed by Gil Gerard at one of the conventions we went to. And I decided I wanted to sell it, so I put it up for sale. And, you know, the guy that ultimately ended up buying it from me kind of came at me and was like, well, how do I know the signature is real and all that? I'm like, because I can tell you the day and the date that it was signed, and I can tell you where it was signed, and I can tell you, and I said to him, look, because he's like, do you have a certificate of authenticity? I'm like, no, I got it signed myself. There's no certificate, but like, here's photos of us at the table with Gil Gerard, and I can tell you that it was Rhode Island Comic Con. It was this day on this year. If that's not good enough,
boy, see, that's helpful, but yeah, the sign stuff is tricky. I guess I'm more talking about, you know, the G.I. Joe painting and the Mark Hamill signed lightsaber, and
Right. So,
you know,
exactly, things like that.
The Batman bat shield sign. Those things are, I mean, whether someone wants to keep them or not, they're worth a lot of money. At least do that with them,
right?
If you have to.
I mean, I know stories
of
people that had appreciable either comic collections or gun collections or something like this, and their quote, you know, the person's quote unquote friends came in and bought this stuff up at unrealistic prices. So I think
and that's why I'm moving it all.
Having somebody you trust that you can say, you know, here's the things that you know should go to X, Y, and Z person, and take the things.
Well, that's why I'm moving it all to Dropbox too, because, you know, it needs to be someplace where somebody can find it.
Yep.
If it was just on my hard drive, that doesn't help anybody. So.
Yeah.
So anyway,
all right.
I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I did not never had the time to actually go that deep into my storage room and pull everything out and sort through them was never going to happen until I was home like this. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So what about you guys?
What are you doing? What are you doing or did?
So I have a lot of, right now I still, as I said, work every day, but I have a lot of time at work and where I'm just kind of there and in between things. And so a couple of weeks ago, I came up with an idea for something that I needed. This is something I could buy pretty easily, but I said, you know, I'm going to go back in my closet and I'm going to make this thing. And I store a lot on raw hard drives, you know, just take like an internal drive and just like back stuff up to it and then put a label on it and put it in the shelf. And so I wanted a hard drive duplicator. So I found a Windows, I think it was XP computer, it might have been Windows 7 computer that was just sitting on the shelf. I got 2 hot swappable drive bays for $16 a piece from Amazon. I took out the DVD drive, which there's no reason to have a DVD drive. Took out the 3 3/4 inch drive, put in 2 drive bays so that I could, without opening the case, I could just slide like cassettes. I could slide those 2 hard drives in, and I upgraded it to Windows 10. It didn't need a lot of memory, and again, this is a good project for a useless old PC. And I put the Clonezilla software on there, and now basically I boot this thing up, slop 2 drives in, click the button, and I come back and I have a complete copy of the drive. Now I could have bought a drive duplicating machine for like $250, but my total expenditure in this thing is $30, and
nice.
It does the same thing, and so it's and like I said, when it's not on, it's not on. I will give one tip to people. If you have an old PC that you want to find a new purpose for, whether you want to make it a media server, you want to put all your music on it or do something like that, there's a lot of things that you can do with an older PC that's sitting around. The window to upgrade your PC to Windows 10 closed the July before last. So if you didn't do this by July 2018, the door closed behind you. There was a couple extensions, and then they stop the extensions, and you have to pay to upgrade your Windows 7 or, God help you, Windows XP computer to Windows 10. But you really don't have to. if you upgrade it to Windows 10...
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Thank you. If you upgrade it to Windows 10 and you run it unlicensed, you go into the licensing thing, look up the phone number for Microsoft. It'll take you a little while to do this. Look up the phone number for Microsoft for licensing verification. You now no longer talk to a human being. You just toggle through a very long series of menus. You give them the code that's on your unlicensed copy, and they will dictate, the computer will dictate you back a license that you can enter in, and your computer is then licensed. I've now done this 3 times in the last 2 months on old computers that I found that I wanted to rehab for people, and it works every time. So even though officially they've stopped doing it, the mechanism is there in place. And like I said, just look up the Microsoft Windows 10 licensing phone number, and you have got to have a little patience. It takes about 15 minutes each time, but spending 15 minutes versus spending between $99 and $125, it's worthwhile. So
that's a good tip.
Yeah,
that is a good tip.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was my random recent project. Dave, how about you?
Well, let's see. So I've made a list of a bunch of stuff. I'll go through ones I've sort of completed. One was clean out this closet over here, which is just a lot of collectibles and different things. I am 2/3 the way through it. That was like the first thing I did. It just got away from me. I did straighten up my attic and did what, Todd, you did with your Hot Toys. I bought in plastic shelves, and I took every Hot Toy box and all those that were all over the attic, and those are all labeled on those shelves. So that was sort of the first thing of the attic. Now we're in the season of I can't go in the attic because it's just about 140 degrees up there. So that's not happening anymore, but that's sort of a little bit done. I built that Captain and Marvel pager that's been on my list for like a year.
Awesome. Yep.
You saw that. What else? Next generation phaser. I'm done with my part. I'm just waiting for the electronics, and this guy will not send them.
But you knew
like
that.
the only I didn't know that until after I bought them. But he's literally the only guy who bought them, and I have actually reached out to him twice, and shipping next week. Not heard from him. I finally built, Todd, your Logan's Run gun that I had sitting on the shelf for 2 years. Sorry about that. That holiday special lightsaber I built. So I've really been trying to have a project constantly going.
I've done a lot of that with models. I mean, I didn't even go down that road, but I've built a ton of models over the last 3 months. I've built. I think I told you guys around May the 4th, I bought a bundle from Bandai directly from their website of droid model kits. And the way they were packed, there was an R2-D2 by himself, and then there was an R2-D2 with C-3PO, and then there was another R2-D2. So I've built 3 R2-D2 so far, and an R5-D4, a BB-8, and a Dio. And I've got 2 more R2 type units. I've got another R2 that I'm going to build, and I have some ideas for that one that's going to be really, really different. And then there's another droid that's in the opening shots of A New Hope that I ordered just because I saw when I started watching the Despecialized edition, I was like, oh, that's that droid they make a model of. I got to get that one. He's like got a tall head that goes up on a weird angle. Same body as R2, but his head is totally different. Totally different color scheme. He's like green and white. So I have that kit sitting here too. I built Poe Dameron X-Wing from the movie we won't speak of, and a bunch of other stuff. So I've been real busy building models, and I've had on the R2s it's been interesting because I've literally built 3 of them in a row, and every one when I build one, I go, all right, on the next one I'm going to do this differently because now like the first one I didn't even try to fill the seams on the dome, and the second one I filled the seams, but because there's so much stuff inside of it. It was really difficult to sand and not screw up the other pieces that have to go in before you close it up. So in the third one, I said, I'm going to try not putting any of that stuff inside, puttying and sanding it till it's perfect, and then putting the pieces in from the bottom, which was a pain in the ass, but it worked really well because the third one, you don't see seams at all. Yeah. And again, remember, we're talking about 1/12 scale. So
yeah, Barry, you're what, small. Like 3-4 years into model building again? Is that about what it is?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Is it? Okay.
I mean, we've been doing this show for 7.
It's been
probably about 5
through
years.
the course of the show. I got to say, Barry sends us pictures in progress of this stuff, and the detail on some of these things and his painting is absolutely amazing. And I often think you should have just an Instagram, like Barry's building this kind of thing, and just keep posting the pictures there because it's
that would save me from having to send them to you guys because I feel like I inundate you guys sometimes with pictures.
No, it's good. It is really cool
You
to
could
see.
put
And
them on
I love scrolling back through
Instagram.
And seeing, the
You
stuff
don't put
in
enough
process
on there. Put it on there.
Yeah, I have called you out on your posing a couple of times, but other than that, I think your work is top
That's
shelf.
your specialty.
So
that's your specialty.
That's my thing. I'm a poser. What can I tell you? But
one of that weird droid I was talking about
Barry
that has
poses
the weird
is super intricately painted. What size? 1/12 scale.
1/12 scale.
1/12 scale models like they're 3 3/4 inch action figures with no articulation.
Yeah,
it's like no, it's totally the Kenner view.
One of the cool things
amazing.
about the droid that I was talking about with the weird head is that I guess when they make these kits they don't redo all the tooling, so that kit comes with a complete R2 head as well. So I've got this idea of and between the other 4 droids I've already built, there's a lot of spare parts because they give you all these arms and attachments and different things. And the last one I built is the flying version of R2, but it also has the non-flying. So there's all these extra parts. So I have this idea for like a droid that's coming up on this just like sea of like droid parts and a head that maybe has like an LED that's flickering in it or something. So I've got an idea for something with all these extra parts. I'm gonna see if I can.
Little shop. You build the little shop droids from Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
and have them.
Each one of them comes with about 8 different arm attachments, most of which I'm not using, but I've still painted and detailed all of them. I actually have a picture to send you guys of all the tools lined up in a row, because they're tiny. But anyway,
yeah.
So Dave, what else? Did you have more to talk?
I'm sure there's other stuff, and then I'm in the middle of I've been trying to make this. The K is the Ryan Gosling from the second Blade Runner. He has this light up badge I've been working on, and it's been a pain in the neck. So I picked that up and put that down 3 times. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that. Those are the ones so right now in the rotation is Batgirl's walkie-talkies, which I found the right walkie-talkies for her months ago, and I just got the right purple paint. So that's in the hopper. And then the Star Trek shirt we got, my idea from Prop Store, my idea is that I'm going to put it in like a display, like a jersey, and all the jersey ones are way too big. So I'm going to build my own display for that. I got these crazy, I had the idea of I guess the background of the ones you buy, the jersey displays, are foam or fabric, and you pin the jersey to it. And I'm like, maybe I'll use magnets. So I bought these quarter-size magnets, the Nemoidian magnets or whatever. So they're literally a stack like this. I'm holding my fingers up.
They are insane.
I'm holding my fingers up 9 inches apart. 3 inches apart. You cannot take them apart. Yeah, those.
These things they're crazy. I have them separated in different places. Okay, I actually had a metal thing that I had them spaced 8 inches apart on, like a cabinet, because once they go together, the other thing too is they will shatter each other. They're brittle.
They'll hurt you too.
They're a little brittle, but it's crazy how like I said, these things they are so strong.
Well, they ship with plastic spacers, but
yeah,
and they're nuts.
But it's cool. I showed you one time. One of these will hold up my 357 Magnum. I could stick this under a counter and stick not that I've done this, people, but I've got a 3-inch barrel 357 Magnum that stainless steel that is held up by this single magnet. That's the size. That is the size of a quarter.
It's stainless and it holds it up.
It is it's stainless.
It's got to be blue, no?
No, it's still steel.
But stainless isn't magnetizable. I don't think.
I think it is. Yeah.
We'll check that out.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's one of the things I'm planning on building when using magnets to sort of hold it to the back. I made the pin display. Did I ever? I'll put that up. Oh, it's right. It is right there. I just pointed at it, and there it is.
Pictures of it.
Yeah. It's funny. I was going to make... So in the Star Trek thing, I got the pins from Into Darkness, so I made this little display. One's brass and one's aluminum. So I have the brass one on a brass rod and the aluminum on an aluminum rod. And I was going to make an acrylic case. I bought it instead. There's a company that makes every size. They are not cheap anymore. But they're really nice. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I think, Dave, you're thinking of like stainless finish on appliances and stuff like that. And that's different. Like your stainless fridge, magnets won't stick to. But yeah, no, I'm holding this thing up.
I'll have to try that with my...
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
T85.
Don't try this at home, people. And I did unload it before I just did that. But anyways.
Okay, good. So, I have got more, but those are the things. So that's in the hopper, those two things right now. I want to find something along the lines of the Logan's Run follower. I don't know why, because now that I have a laser cutter, I got to build something, very, very rarely talked about or seen is the sort of comm links that the Battlestar Galactica people use.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
You almost never see them or talk about them.
Those are the ones that are strapped to their legs, or is that something different?
No, it's something else. It's sort of on their belt. You really don't see them. I've been collecting pictures, but they have like old computer keyboard keys. So that's something I'm thinking about.
No, and just before we started recording, we were kicking around ideas for a project that maybe more than one of us could work on together.
Yes. I've always wanted to make like a life-size K9, and we were talking about, if we'll show you a picture on the website, but he's Doctor Who's dog, and it's very much a 60s sort of robot-looking dog. The body's pretty simple, square, and then it's got this head, and I was saying I thought a cool idea was just put him on a chassis of an RC car so he could roll around, and Todd had some cool ideas about...
I was thinking have the head tilt the way it did in the show, and have the little ear things rotate. And we should probably ask Sean for input on that too, because he probably would have some other ideas. But I think the head turns side to side, but it does dip up and down, and the ears do rotate, and I think that would be very cool.
Yeah,
Brian,
and I was
also,
saying, I'm
Brian
sure
would be
there's
the other person we should consult on how to pull it off.
Yeah, RC parts to totally do that. I had an RC plane. God, it's more than 30 years ago. I still have the parts to it. It was one of those foam beginner ones, and it would always crash. But it did have these servos, these RC servos, that I guarantee they're way more sophisticated, way smaller, and way cheaper.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah, so you could do the ears. I think the ears moving would be very cool.
Just watching some of the behind-the-scenes stuff on a lot of the movies and the making-ofs now, the servos, and I realize these are probably the super high-end ones, but like they've gotten so small and so precise. Like I'm sure for all you would need for the K9's ears would be nothing. I mean, they're probably very cheap.
Yeah. The other person we should ask is Brian Mix, because he's the kind of guy who, like, you just texted him, oh, K9 robot. Oh, I have that kit. It's waiting to be built. I have that.
Yeah.
Anything you ask him, has or built or is going to build. So let us know, Brian.
Yeah.
But that would be a cool project.
Yeah. Couple of things that one of the things I keep working on. Every once in a while I'll print another piece for it. I want to finish this year. I want to finish my my gun from The Expanse, and I bought the base gun. I've printed a couple different versions of the pieces, and there's a few that I still have to work out the the right sizing on, and I'll get to that. It's probably something I'll finish up this summer. But the other thing that I want to do, and I actually bought a piece for this the other day. I want to make a Starman staff.
You said.
Very much like Stargirl uses. And so I want to go more like the comic one than the one that she uses in the show. But the other day I was in a local kind of like Home Depot-ish kind of thing, not a chain one though. And I was standing next to this stack of things, and there was a gold shower rod there. That it was like kind of like brushed brass kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, that is totally the base that I want for the thing. And I bought it for $12. And so I may end up needing 2 of these to cut it and make the bend and stuff like that. But I like the idea of it being hollow and super light to begin with. And this way, even if I end up painting it, it's got that color underneath it. And so I might even be able to get away with like clear coating it. So we'll see. It's pretty close color wise. So yeah, I want to do that. And I have figured out how to 3D print the hook on the top, and I would do that out of like a semi-translucent, maybe a glow in the dark. And then I got.
That's what I was thinking. Dave, it'd be cool
working on a light element to go up inside.
Yeah, some LEDs in there would be very cool.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah. So that's my other thing. But I've wanted one of those since the '90s, and it's I think it's pretty doable. So.
I've got a B9 robot kit I need to start building as well.
The little one?
No, the one, same one you have. I just haven't started mine yet.
Oh, B9. I was thinking, not B9. B9. I'm thinking BB.
Oh no! I'm talking about the Lost in Space.
Oh, I know. And so that's on my list too for sure. That kit, and I literally took it out, started cutting. I cut a bunch of stuff off the little sprues, sanded them down, put them together, and I'm like, I got to get started on this. I have all the paints and everything. I got to start getting organized with all that. And it's just, there's so much work to that. It's just like, oh, God.
And it's so funny because you and I are like the opposites on this. Like, the detailing and all, like, the little stuff, that's the stuff I like the most.
The filling and sanding is just, ugh.
That's the part I like the least. But the painting and detailing,
I don't think
really
anyone
enjoy.
likes sanding. If someone likes sanding, let me know. Yeah, there's just and mine has extra work that I got to work in all the electronics, which at least it's all completely put together. But
I keep saying I'm not doing electronics, and I keep thinking maybe that's why I haven't started yet, because I probably should do electronics.
You have to. Let's get on a Zoom or whatever, and I'll show you, because you could literally plug them in and they work, and they talk and they do everything, and they are activated by magnets. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I feel like you need that.
I do feel like that might be why I haven't.
I don't care at all about the electronics. So if you're still interested in potentially building one for me,
Oh no! I owe you one. This is going to be for you. I owe it to you.
Yeah. So
I promised you this model 2 years ago.
So we'll it'll be like I said. Yeah, I
even if I don't go the full electronics and sound kit, I feel like his chest needs to light up. There needs to be the multicolor
that main
LEDs.
Panel would be good.
Yeah.
But
I had this idea that at like 6:30 every day I'll spend a half an hour on it, and I just have not done that at all.
Yeah.
Because I think he'd be done by now, since I've said that to myself.
But and we said this early on, and I really truly believe it. Having hobbies like these is part of what's helped get us through, and I don't know what people do that have nothing but like sitting around and watching TV.
I'm 100% with you. I mean, I hope business gets better and everyone's gets back to working, but I don't ever need to go. I could stay home. I completely work my 8-9 hours, and I could spend the other, sleep 8 hours, and then the other, what's left? 8, I guess. Another 8 hours. I could totally fill that time without a problem. One of the other things we're doing. It's not one of these nerdy things, I guess, but we're building a shed. Me and Mark are building a shed in the woods at the end of the property, because there's just too much crap out there. And I also, he goes to college in a couple months. I want him to build a project that really involves various skills, because we were saying this before, these damn kids have no skills these days. And I've never built anything like that, and I'm just designing it myself. I've watched 35 years of this old house. I think I can handle it, but he was using circular saw, he's using a nail gun, he's using a level. If you have the skills yourself, pass them down.
I've said this before, but we need a garden shed out in the backyard, and I totally want to build a TARDIS and just stick it in the backyard, back corner of the yard.
Jesus, I could still do that.
We should do that.
That would be the funniest thing.
And it would just sit in the back corner of the property, so you'd see it from the other street, because there's a vacant lot in between us and the other street, and just have it sitting there. And I think that would be awesome.
No, I'm saying I should do that to mine. I only have the base. I'll tell Pam, just don't look at it until I'm done.
Right, though? Aren't you gonna? What do you?
Yeah. It's 8x8.
Yeah.
I should just make the door. I should paint the door. Put the door in the middle. Paint the sides to look like the trees.
Totally.
Just have the
yes.
Yeah,
well, you're gonna build a 3 foot by 3 foot shed.
Well, all it needs room for is like for pots and stuff like that, and garden, because it's right next to the garden. It literally is garden tools. So, and it's more like 4 foot by 4 foot.
Maybe 4 by 4.
Yeah. So
you're going to really
just picture like shelves on one side, and then rakes and shelves and all that.
You could make it more like 6 by 6 and just make it taller to keep it in the right scale, and then it's just.
No, I'd want it the authentic scale, because I'd want people to come by and take pictures with it and stuff. So,
that could be like a fun weekend for the three of us to do like
that
an
would
old
be
style
awesome.
barn raising, build a TARDIS.
There's tons of plans out
totally.
here. I'd get all the materials here, and then I would stand here and give you guys drinks as you actually did the work. So,
you could do the work too. What can't you do?
Well, yeah, we'll see.
You can handle a roller with some blue paint on it.
I could. That's what I'm saying. I think I could paint.
You could cut something, can't you?
Yep, I could. Yeah, I could do that.
This project also enabled me to need another circular saw.
Of course it did.
Yep.
I love projects that
problem
require
isn't that I'm not
tools being
capable
bought.
of doing things. It's that I'm less capable than most everybody I know, including my brothers and most of my friends. And so invariably through my life, somebody has stepped in and shown me the right way of doing it, and then it's done. So, yeah. So, anyways.
But you got to do it yourself. I'll show you how to do it.
Okay.
And you do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had an old, for all the things I need a circular saw for, most of the building the sets that we used to build, and I think I even had this saw back then. I don't need a big full-size circular saw, even though I have one. I had this DeWalt 5.5-inch battery-powered circular saw, which is great. Cut through everything. Lightweight, easy, and I've had it for 20 years. And the thing with the DeWalt, which I am not a fan of, their batteries suck. At least their old ones do. They just keep dying for no reason. So we get out there. This weekend we were building the platform to build the thing, basically the floor, but it's on pressure treated 2x2s and blah blah blah. So we had to cut 9 2x4s, and we cut 3, and then it just dies. And then I put in a fresh battery. These batteries suck. They're before the lithium-ion batteries, if you're into those. So then I get out the Porter Cable 7.5-inch, 2 horsepower, or whatever the hell saw, and it's just a monster. So I had to buy a new saw.
My skill saw, my circular saw, is actually a Skill brand that I may have bought in 1984. And
sure.
It sits in the same milk crate it sat in forever, and that's where I go get it, take it out, use it, put it back, and I've changed the blade, I know, but other than that, it's and it still works. Yeah,
you try a battery operated one of these smaller ones. it's 10 times more pleasurable experience than using one of those nasty
I have
things.
watched somebody cut through the cord on a skill saw before.
Oh my God! If there isn't, if you own one of those and you haven't cut through the cord, then you haven't used it enough.
So
I've got a circular saw that I've maybe used 3 times, but I've got my compound miter saw, which is maybe my favorite thing in the world to use. I don't have reason to use it very often, but when I do, it's a lot of fun.
They make that was the idea. Why don't I just move mine outside? But that's just a giant pain in the ass.
Right.
I've always liked the saber saw because I'm more about destroying things than actually building, and it's awesome for destroying.
Oh,
things.
like the Sawzall
reciprocating
one,
saw,
or the
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I've got one of those too. Those are fun.
just there's no finesse to those whatsoever.
And it's glorious.
And it's not supposed to be.
I ripped out a bathroom with one of
It's
those.
essentially a
one time,
chainsaw. It's like a
I
chainsaw.
ripped out a bathroom. I cut
chainsaw
a door
that
between
is
two apartments. It was,
deadly to you.
Yeah, good times.
Chainsaw is just like we were doing something. No, we wanted to clear out some things, and Pam's like, I have a small chainsaw. She'll be like, I'll just get the chainsaw and do it. I'm like, you're in shorts. You just
don't feel like going to the hospital.
Homeowners
today.
should not be using chainsaws.
So like this. So I had to cut a hole between 2 rooms one time in this apartment building that I had, and it was lath and plaster, and it was so I had to basically cut the lath with the saber saw, and then knock the plaster out, and then keep going. But anyways, so on my first pass, I cut it to look like Hulk had walked through the wall.
Oh, that's funny.
I made this vague kind of human body shape with a head. And until I got the size worked out, but it was it was awesome looking for like 2 days. So
that's funny. Well, that's the saw minute.
Yeah, saw several minute. Yep.
But I bought a Milwaukee M12 5.5-inch saw. If anyone needs one, very very happy with that tool. Okay, any other thing on projects? So, hey, first of all, let us know what you're working on. I know some of our friends and listeners are working on projects too. We've seen some of them, so let us know. Any other...
In the time that we've been recording, Brian Mix has probably built 3 things. So
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah, Nate too. Nate's been pretty prolific during this time.
Yes, I've seen Nate building a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
That totally obscure Kirk grenade launcher from... I think Arena, I believe.
From Arena,
cool.
He built that.
I
that was
haven't
cool.
seen that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let's go what's in the box.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Barry, what's in the box?
Well, keeping with the Rush theme, I've got a book. This is a new book that came out recently called Anthem Rush in the 70s. By Martin Popoff. Martin actually posted online that he had books in his hand and would sell signed copies. So rather than get it on Amazon, I got him to sign it, and he wrote to Barry Making Memories, which is a Rush song, and signed it. So it's actually a cool cover. It's like this leatherish kind of cover with this like embossed metallic title on it. It's very unique cover, and it's got a photo that feels like it's like etched into the cover. So haven't read it yet because I just got it, but it's it covers Rush through the 70s. So that's what's in the box. Todd, what's in the box?
Okay, because again, what you guys do, after we recorded the JJ Trek show, I went online and I bought the phaser, the communicator, and the tricorder that were produced from then. These are what, Playmates? Yeah. And so now I have these two. I felt old plastic envy, and so I went on and bought them. It was kind of funny. The batteries were almost dead in these things, and I pushed the buttons on each of them, and they just kind of like made really weak battery noises. And I came into my room later, and the phaser was going off by itself because it was in that kind of death throes mode, which was kind of pretty funny.
Those are pretty well done, though, for Playmates toys.
Yeah. It's just time. So this is a tool I'm showing you guys. Do you have any idea what this is?
I've seen those.
I've been seeing those all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's sort of the COVID tool.
It's the COVID tool. Yes. Barry, have you seen these?
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Okay. So this is basically. I mean, it kind of looks like a key, and you use this to push buttons like on the ATM and a door, and then this hook. It actually works. You can use this to hook a handle without putting your fingers on the handle, and theoretically you can open a doorknob with the notch. It doesn't work, yeah. Anyway, so it's I don't think about that much, but really a gajillion people are pushing the buttons at the ATM, and the other things like that, and so I guess if you have a workplace where you key in. Or
even at the gas pump, if you've got to put in, every time I use my credit card at the gas pump, I've got to put my zip code in.
That is where I had to put my from my debit card. I had to put my
pick up
code
the
in, and
gas
that is the one
handle
place I've used it so far. It did work fine. So
yeah,
it is not haptic.
Now, did you buy that online? I've seen a bunch of those online, and they're made. I guess brass and I think copper. Are both anti.
Right, and this
microbial or
I believe brass. This was at the counter at Staples. Somebody bought this for me, I saw them today at the counter at Staples. They're like $6-7. So, anyways, kind of interesting innovation, and one of the first products that I've seen, other than a variation of an existing product for the era that we live in.
There's a couple of those, and I was going to make one. What's going on? Oh, he's hearing the phaser.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is
the
tricorder buzzing its last buzz before it gets turned off. Okay, it's stopped now. Okay. So
I was gonna cut one myself or do something. You need a Wazer, which is a home water jet, and
that is the reason to buy one.
Yeah, Dave, I think you need to buy one of those now.
You're protecting your whole family.
It's a $7,000 tool to make a $6 item.
And I think, Dave, you could also you could come up with a way of making this so you could open round doorknobs with it. I'm sure there's a way of perfecting this. I was thinking some kind of cam thing that tightens as you turn or something like that, but there's got to be a way of doing that. So.
Just need a metal Terminator hand to articulate.
There you go.
Yeah. So, anyways, Dave, what do you got?
I have from Fanboy Collectibles came today a Hot Toys figure, and it's everybody's favorite, John Wick.
I was wondering about that. Yes.
So it's interesting. This says John Wick 2 on the box. So I feel like this is at the beginning of John Wick 2, because he's a little beaten up. There's his face.
Good likeness, yeah.
Good likeness. He's got some scars. So he's in a black 3-piece suit. And Todd and I have been through many suits on 6-inch action figures as we did our various stories. But I mean, this is all black, so it's hard to get a good. Let me turn this light up a little. It's up already. This is about the best fitting black suit on an action figure I've seen, or suit. You can feel the fabric is, they're so great at their micro fabrics, super thin. It's like the thickness of the fabric is in scale.
Is there any wire in it, Dave? Is it like in the lapels and stuff? Because they're really good about doing that.
They're kind of very stiff and glued down, but no real wires. But this is the coolest thing I saw. He's got a 3-piece suit. The vest, instead of buttons, is magnets.
Yeah. Alfred was like that. That's great.
Yeah, it's really cool. So the likeness is good. Comes with like at least 10 hands, I think. Comes with, and the cool thing is, I was wondering, it comes with his John Wick 1 and 2 weapons. So here is the P90L, HK P90L, which I made one with Sean with the compensator on it, so that's cool. And then stand him here. and then I just won't pull these out, but it comes with
Wow, there's a lot of guns.
shotgun,
That's like an arsenal.
M4, some other weird machine gun, my weapon of choice, Glock 34. That's my gun of choice myself. Competition model, I use that. Mini Glock, I guess 23. He's got the Kimber that Morpheus, his buddy, hands him at the end of 2. I think that's a Microsoft Microtech Halo knife. So it comes with a lot of cool stuff, and then it comes with stacks of the coins and all that stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's a good figure. It's relatively basic, but here's an interesting thing that you guys will appreciate. So I hold in my hands one of the very first Hot Toys figures.
Yes, yep.
Yes,
And
Neo.
I mean, if you look at the Neo was one of, I think, the first Hot Toys figures they made before they were doing licensed. This is unlicensed, but the head sculpt, I mean, the coloring, everything, and we'll put pictures of.
Yeah.
This is back when, wow, look at those. Those are hot. Who's Hot Toys? They're making awesome stuff. They are light years ahead with their new figures. So
right now, did you guys? We never talked about it. I sent you guys a picture. I'm really disappointed. So Dave, you have the first Ant-Man figure that came out.
I do.
The new one from Ant-Man vs. Wasp is just starting to ship now in Hong Kong, so it'll be hitting over here eventually. I've had it on pre-order for like 2 years. They decided to go in a totally different direction with the head sculpt from what the prototypes they showed, and he's got this giant smile on his face that looks ridiculous. And if you look on some of the toy collecting forums and Facebook pages, everybody's unanimously saying this is like the worst face. It's not
right.
like the,
the
coloration and the tone and all that is fine, but it's the smile is so exaggerated.
I don't think I would have ever given consideration to displaying that with the helmet off. So now that's settled for me.
Me too, but it would be nice to have the option, and they've made it impossible.
It could be worse. Could have like Captain America with a goofy smile or something like that, where you're stuck with it.
Yeah, but depending on how good the Wasp head sculpt is, potentially I could have seen displaying, the.
You guys see what it looks to. I have mine displayed.
You get yours with the helmet.
Because I think him with the helmet on, her with the helmet off, is the way to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Dave,
it's just surprising in this day and age. Hot Toys doesn't usually disappoint. Yeah,
but you know what? Those head sculpts are approved, so that's what somebody picked out somewhere.
Maybe it looks better in person.
So
I think
Dave,
you wait till you.
Some months ago, I purchased the companion figure for John Wick, just right there. And, no, I will never.
I was
buy
surprised
the John
he
Wick
didn't come
figure.
with.
This was designed to go with the John Wick figure.
Oh, really? It is.
Yeah. It's a knockoff thing, but that's how it was pictured. And I was sold, and I got this on eBay. But yeah, it's a little beagle, and I went with the one that looked more like Darwin. But yeah.
I was thinking he'd come with either the beagle or I guess his other dog is probably too big.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's and I'll show pictures with Neo and John Wick and boy, and I was surprised when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pull him out of my cabinet, and I was like, wow. Yep. That looks very, it's like G.I. Joe skin color.
Oh, it is.
They made a Neo figure that looks fantastic. I mean, I didn't buy it, but the Hot Toys did make a modern one just this past year.
Yeah,
the code still is awesome. It's
really
got the wire in it, and that's got to be more than 15 years ago. I bet.
Oh yeah, I think it's closer to 20.
More,
yeah. Cool. All right, that's what's in the box. Barry, you had a final thought, I believe.
I did. So we say it all the time that the people that listen to our show are awesome. And, we also say a lot on the air and off that, we would do this even if we, nobody listened and we just enjoy doing this. And obviously like a show like tonight, we talked about nothing and still had a good time doing it. But every now and then one of our listeners reaches out and one, I just wanted to publicly thank Darren Denzer, who reached out to me said that he had something he thought I might enjoy, and I received it this past week. And I've already reached out to him privately and thanked him, but I just wanted to publicly thank him. Really good dude, and not only did he send me the thing that we talked about, he included something in the box showing A, that he definitely listens to the show and listens closely, and B, that he has a sense of humor, because he also included a Willow action figure in the box because he knew I would enjoy that too.
Darren, I don't know why you didn't send that to me. I think I'm way more deserving. And
I had said that as per our
right
agreement where we split everything equally, Barry now has to cut that into 3 parts. And, send
and Dave actually wanted me to shred it in a shredder. So
let's shred it like we did Tim Burton's Planet
anyway,
of the Apes.
No, that was really cool. So
yeah, he's a good dude,
awesome.
and thank you so much. And included a really, really nice note in with the package as well. So, and I will say this too, and I told him this when I emailed him, I have never received anything that was packed as well as this thing was packed. In 30 years of collecting, he did such an amazing job making sure this thing got here without any damage. It was kind of remarkable. So,
no, it's
good
great.
dude. Yeah. So thank you, Darren.
Cool. Awesome. And I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.